All right, hello, welcome to the East Pond review. I am going to be reviewing some Star Wars action figures. There's a couple of different reasons why I chose to do these Star Wars Episode 1 figures. One of them being is that I have a bigger project involving the Comm Tech chips, and I'll explain that in further videos. The other one is when I was younger, maybe like 15, 16 is when I think Episode 1 came out. I actually bought a couple of these figures and had them around. Not too many of them, though, to be honest. I think I had like an Obi-Wan Kenobi and probably like Battle Droid. That honestly might be it. Another reason for these, if there's any collectors out there, maybe you got a little nostalgia bug in you and these were your, figures growing up. These figures are really cheap. I was walking through a thrift store a couple of weeks ago and I spotted these and I'm like, wow, these kind of dirt cheap. Then I looked on eBay and like you can get these figures for roughly less than retail value when they came out, in 1999. And I think with all of my purchases, I think it works out to where they're maybe a $4.50 each. So that is far below. I enjoy opening action figures. Though they do look cool, like, if you're going to collect them and leave them like this. There's actually 4 different variants. I believe this one here is the blaster one. It has like blaster marks on it. I think that one is the lightsaber marks on there. I have the 2 other ones, which is the clean version. It's all nice and shiny and new. And then there's the dirty version of these characters. The reason why these ones are open is because this is my 3rd time doing this review. So hopefully this one makes the cut. All right, let's dive into opening this up. Ooh, I always like the feeling of opening up an action figure. I always tried it when I was younger. I always tried to get it so it would come off like absolutely clean there. But I mean, obviously with the glue, you could never get that. Oh, man, this one you have to peel off everything. I've never had the communicator, the Comm Tech reader when I was a kid, but I always thought that this was kind of cool that you get a figure stand with your action figures. I don't know why other toys don't do that. I don't know if you can see this because my background is also orange or yellow, but this inside of this figure thing is yellow, but the outer one is not. You can sort of see it. I wonder how that happens. I wonder what the science behind that is. So here's the Battle Droid himself. These figures are surprisingly sturdy. You think for how thin the plastic and stuff is, they actually are pretty sturdy. Ooh, a little crank there. When I was younger, I always tried to put them into the position they are at when they come out of that machine. I don't know what the carrier thing, how they're all hunched down, and you really can't do that here. It's got an elbow joint, a shoulder joint, the head swivels and then goes up and down, like you got some kind of movement with there. The backpack does come off. Little peg joint there. You got a hip joint and then a knee joint. It looks a little bit like you have ankle joints, but you don't. So that's what, 9 points of articulation. The blaster gun's kind of cool. Overall, cool little figure. But let's get into, bam, the Comm Tech reader. There you go. I never had this growing up because it was kind of expensive. I remember it being like $20, $25, and the toys were like $8. So, and I didn't really have a need or use for it. it. You know, because I was like 15, so I wasn't going to like play with these. Like, oh, let me hear what Obi-Wan says. They were kind of like, you know, static displays. You know, I'd put them on my shelf, and that was pretty much it. Similar packaging to like the action figures. It comes with a chain that I guess you're supposed to wear these things. I don't know any kid that would wear them. Maybe some younger kid. The back, of course, gives a description of everything there. Those are those sayings that it comes out with. I'm not going to open this one up, just because I have one already open. Again, this is my third time doing this review. And this thing is pretty cool. This thing looks like something that would be in Star Wars, like a character would have this. I would think that it was like some kind of communicator, like you'd get like a hologram like right here, and I guess these are supposed to be antennas or something. Oh, they're kind of like a flexible plastic. Takes a 9-volt battery. When I bought this, I bought it online through eBay, and I was worried about the batteries already being in there and like being corroded, and it's just a big hunk of plastic at that point. But it takes a 9-volt that it doesn't come with. And if you look at on the box, it does not tell you what kind of battery you need for this, which I find odd. You figure that like a parent or some kid is buying this, it would say, like requires a 9-volt battery sold separately or something on there. That's just kind of weird to me. It takes the instructions to tell you that it's a 9-volt battery. But it's kind of cool if you turn it on. That's the on button. I believe this button up here is the blaster. Yep. And then this is the lightsaber. These buttons here are where you can save the Comm Tech reader chip. And then here, we'll do the full display here. Here's our battle droid guy. And then what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to, if I can show this, you're supposed to line them up. Ooh, did it not work? Okay, it works. Is this chip broken? Look at that.
Where were you taking them?
Oh, there he goes. Maybe it just doesn't like it sideways or something.
Halt! You're under arrest. Clear them away.
It's funny because in the movies, of course, they're, robotic and stuff like that. And it sounds like they didn't take that audio from the movie and put it into the chip. It sounds like they had someone record it.
Where were you taking them?
Because it sounds like a person.
Halt! You're under arrest. Clear them away.
Like, it doesn't sound like these robot things at all. And they're all the same. They're all the same chip. Here's the...
Where were you taking them?
Yeah, of course, they're going to all be the same. And how you save it is that you...
Halt! You're under arrest.
And then you...
Clear them away. Where were you taking them?
Oh, that's what it is. That's why it wouldn't do it. Because what I did, you got to leave it on the thing. Right? If you do this...
Halt! You're under arrest.
And then... Nope, it's on you. Nope, that's the no button. That's... Nope, not happening. So if you do that... Nope, you got to leave it on. Like you do this.
Where were you taking them?
There you go. Now it's stored in there. So now you have a...
Halt! You're under arrest.
You don't need the chip thing anymore because it's all stored in there now.
Where were you taking them?
And that is my review of the Battle Droid Episode 1 figures. Cool little toys. And of the Star Wars Comm Tech chip reader. I think it's pretty cool. I wish they would have made more of these Comm Tech figures. Or for like the 20-year anniversary of Star Wars Episode 1, if they would have revamped it or something. It would have been cool to see. But thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more. Like and subscribe. I guess I'm supposed to say that after every video. And again, thank you for watching.